everybody, and welcome to another edition of Neptune TV. We just decided to change things up a little bit this week, have a bit of fun. We decided to talk to the enemy, I mean the two boys from Demons. Lads, you're welcome.
Thanks, Malcolm.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for taking time out to have a chat. So, big local derby coming up next Sunday. Give us your thoughts. Are you prepared? Who's going to win? What's the crack?
For me, I think Demons have been not playing up to their full potential so far this year. I think this man next to me here coming back is a huge addition to Demons. I think at the guard spot we've been that little bit young. But I think where Demons can hurt Neptune this weekend is inside.
Okay.
I am fearful of Neptune and they get out and score 3-4 seconds into the shot clock. I think Demons really need to slow them down. That's going to be a big focus, I would imagine, for Danny. But for Demons' inside game and stopping Neptune's outside game, I would say. Because I watched Neptune last Saturday night and to be honest, I thought they were awesome.
Yeah.
They were like shooting trees, inside, outside. Jamal's defence, I thought, was incredible. He almost played like a box and one. He's long, he's rangy, and I think he's their X factor, I'll be honest, Neptune. So we've got to keep an eye on him and really attack him and try and get him in foul trouble.
I have two, I kind of two things that grabbed my attention. So, pre the end game with Neptune, I thought they were only ticking along nicely, but I see a lot of good stuff then after the end game, you know. So I think Neptune have gone up a gear. And then I'm hearing a lot of things about fans really, like just saying that Demons aren't playing really well at the moment. But I think that's very dangerous, to be perfectly honest. Like, have I learned that? Do you want to jump in, Kai?
Yeah, no, obviously just on that. I know, like, something we'd say coming into cup games because our league record wasn't as good, you know. That doesn't matter when it comes to cup game. But now after winning the cup game, you can use it to propel your league record, you know. So we'll be looking to bounce off that, come into league games, and then obviously when you're playing Neptune, you know what I mean? You hate them, but you love them at the same time because they get you up for a game. So, do you know what I mean? I don't think there'll be any blowouts or anything like this, to be honest with you. Like, there never really is or rarely is. So Neptune will be up for it just as much as we are. So I think it'll be our competitive game.
Yeah. And we always say that in commentary as well in the last couple of years. And like it doesn't matter if it's Division 2, Under 20, Super League. It doesn't matter if someone's at the bottom of the league, the top of the league. Demons and Neptune is always Demons and Neptune, and it gives the fans in the north side and Cork the bragging rights till we meet again, which is brilliant. But Hazzy, we'll keep it with you for a second. So you're obviously really nervous. You came out of retirement for the derby, so I
wouldn't say nervous anyway. I was more nervous playing you last week in the hall.
That's why you're retired again, is it?
You unretired me from retirement. Or the local league. No, it was the night after.
Yeah, but to talk about that, obviously short-lived retirement. I thought when we arranged to do this, it was going to be the two commentators versus two commentators just having a chat about Demons and Neptune. But obviously you're out of retirement now.
Yeah, I did. Like, I talked to people about this before, and obviously my wife, like Anne, who plays basketball, she was going out training 3 nights a week. No, I wasn't too sure if she was going to be playing at the time I retired, you know. So I just thought we'd have more weekends off to ourselves, and then when she went back playing, we didn't have weekends off, and I was going to games to watch them anyway, and I was doing that during the week. So I said, why not just go back training? Do you know what I mean? So that's when I had a conversation with Danny, and here we are now.
Yeah, and thoughts for Sunday? So obviously, look, you've seen Neptune. Obviously, we've seen ye. I think it's going to be a tough game. I think it's going to be a very close game. I don't think anyone's going to blow anybody out. Obviously, that's what you want to do as two fans, but it's never going to happen. What's your thoughts on the game Sunday?
Yeah, look, obviously, Neptune have been playing very well. I know there's injuries in the camp. There's no guys after coming in. So it all depends, you know what I mean, what way players react, the Neptune players, what way Demons react to that. So be interesting to see on the day.
Yeah, and how about you, Max? So obviously you've been commentating on for a while now. What's your thoughts on Sunday for the two teams?
First off, I done the first game of the season with Kyle in the commentary box, and I said to myself, if he's not playing by the Neptune game, I'd be absolutely shocked. So here we are, he's playing Sunday. I think it's going to be a cracker of a game. As I said earlier, Neptune are young, athletic. They seem to be really gelled this year. Pat and Ronan are doing a good job on that front. I think I think Neptune have 9 starters possibly that could play big minutes, which makes them really dangerous. Demons, as I say, they're been up and down. You know, Toby hasn't been at his best. I would say he'd admit that. Dave Lehan offensively hasn't been, but he's been really solid defensively. But I think Demons have a chance, but we need to slow Neptune down massively. Neptune can just score in bunches. And, you know, when I say protect the 3-point line against Neptune, where it's something Demons struggled with last week against Sligo, you know, they really killed us from the 3-point line. But
19 trees.
19 trees, and a lot of them were open, you know, which was a worry. But I'm sure Danny and Kyle they won't allow that this week. It's as simple as that. You know, guys will be getting after each other.
Yeah.
And all these guys know each other. We go back to the Demons and Neptune thing. All went to school together. Some guys are, you know, Dave's cousin, Keane and Adam are playing with each other, but beat the hell off each other on the court, but go for a couple of beers afterwards. That's what it's all about, you know. But we hate Neptune, or Neptune hate Demons, but it stops on the court, which is brilliant, I think, you know.
Yeah. And actually, just on that, like the whole rivalry thing, I was talking to Jodie Black there last week, and we just were talking about that, you know. And I asked her, like, in Dublin, is it as kind of gritty? Like, she said no, and I asked her why. She said because Dublin is very spread out.
Yeah.
You know, Colester over here and Marion are there, but she explained to me it's because you're all in on top one. Like, we're all living within the radius of a couple of miles. Like, so I just think that makes the rivalry, gives an extra edge. You know
I mean, to tell for those who don't know, I just came from practice with Blue Demons up in Procol Hall. 45 seconds it took me to get to Neptune Stadium. Yeah. We're that close to each other, you know, but it's brilliant. I think there is no other rivalry like it, I don't think, in Ireland. There really isn't, across any sport. Maybe Cork and Kerry in football or something like that, but it's just, there's something really special about it.
And like, I know, I don't know, was it someone used the word hate there when I go, like, I think at the end of the day, if I'm being honest, nobody hates anybody. That is just pure banter. You know, the other club likes to have one up, and, you know, vice versa, whatever, like, but I don't think it ever gets too nasty. That is just good old-fashioned banter, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Even at that, like, do you know what I mean? There's a lot of group chats going around these days with a mix of both players from both clubs, you know what I mean? Neptune and Demon. So, no doubt, when I'm going to say we win Sunday, I'll be texting the Neptune boys, giving them grief, you know what I mean? But if not, I'm in a group chat with Peanut there, you know what I mean? He'll be texting, giving us grief, and that's the way it's going to be. And unfortunately, it has to stay like that till the next game, do you know what I mean?
Go on. Can I just say on that as well, like, what I always noticed over the years, like, both clubs need each other.
Yeah.
Whether we want to admit it or not. Like, if Neptune are out of the league, Demons suffer, and if Demons are out of the league, Neptune suffer. Because, like, you have the local derbies and you fill the both venues. And it's an extra few bob as well, like, the place is full and all that kind of stuff, you know. So it's always important that both teams are in the league competing against each other, I think, anyway.
Yeah, big time. Big time. Yeah, I mean, you know, we survive with our sponsorship money or what we get in our gate receipts, and as long as Demons and Neptune are doing well, that's how we survive. Things are really good in basketball Ireland right now, and in Cork in particular. We touched on it where, you know, Neptune, credit to Tom and his team, the work being done. Neptune is one of the top arenas around in any sport in Ireland at the moment, you know. The Mardyke Arena is really top notch, and then we have Ballincollig playing out in MTU. So Cork basketball alone is in an unbelievable situation where the three National League clubs all have top class arenas. You know, it's brilliant, and can get big fan numbers in the door as well to help out. You know. Yeah,
you've seen it. Sorry, you've seen it a couple of years ago when Demons were out of league or Neptune was out of league. Like the league wasn't as fun, and like Neptune or Demons, you know, the stadium wasn't full for any games or anything like that, and. Like, no matter how much you want to admit or not, the clubs need each other, and everybody knows that. And I think that's why Demons and Neptune also have this mutual respect for each other, even though on the court, you're right, because he pulled me last year in the commentary before the game when I was like, oh, we hate Demons and we want to win. I don't actually mean hate, but you know, when you get on the court together, Demons, Neptune, you hate each other, you want to win, but it's all respect, it's all mutual. But just to go back to your point there, I just think Cork basketball is in a really good space at the moment, you know, with Demons, Neptune, Ballincollig are doing well at the moment, 3 nice stadiums. Well, what do you think, Kyle, about the state of Cork basketball? You've seen it all.
Yeah, I think it's good, like, and obviously it transpires then to national teams when we're talking about that, you know what I mean? The representation from Cork basketball and the Irish national teams now is great. It's great to see, you know what I mean? And that comes obviously from the league being competitive, but also teams being competitive with each other, because you can only get better by practicing every week with players that are better or equal to you. And then when you come out to play the teams that we play in Cork, you know what I mean? The level is there. So then it's up again because it's a game and you see that transpiring, you know?
Yeah.
Lads, can we talk about like the Super League at the moment? And like I know the league structure has changed a bit. Like there's double headers now. You've 5-6 double headers, is it in the air? Like,
Yeah.
like the commitment level from the players and the coaches is kind of gone up, really, isn't it? Is that a good or a bad thing? Or?
It's a good thing where I think the league is almost at a pro level from the first guy through 12, while all of them are not being paid. You know the Demons lads and Neptune probably training 3 nights a week, 1 night recovery, and a double header. That's Premier League kind of commitment. Demons this week 3 games in the space of 7 days plus practices and recovery. How we keep these guys tipping over, they're missing work, and have other commitments, wives, girlfriends, and kids and stuff like that. That's the next step now, where we can financially reward the players. Basketball Ireland TV is flying. Maybe we need to look now eventually, a couple of years down the line, can players start to get paid a little bit? I think that's the next step for me in Basketball Ireland. Yeah, I really do.
It's interesting. Yeah.
What do you think about that? Do you agree with that? Because the way you answered it there,
I just kind of a bit surprised, really. Like I didn't really think about it. Yeah. Suddenly, when you said it there, I didn't really think about it. I suppose there's maybe the GA kind of thing that we're all volunteers, like, but if it is grown to that extent, and if the players and coaches are putting in that kind of commitment, then why not? Like,
well, the one point that I'd add on that is, for years, definitely the last couple of years, you see the Irish talent in the league is amazing. It's probably the best it's been ever. There's a lot of the Irish talent and the local talent that has been a lot better than some of the pros that we've brought in from other countries.
Yeah.
And we're paying them money to come over here and play when we have amazing players on our own turf that could benefit for a couple of £100 a week, So I think you're probably on that path as well.
Yeah, I think the danger as our Irish players get better, and I think Neptune might be in real danger of this year, is the more successful you are and your Irish players are playing big minutes and doing well, they go on to the national team. I know you have the international breaks, and Kyle touching it where you need to be training all the time, and Neptune possibly could have 3 or 4 players on the national team in the next panel, which means Pat doesn't have a full team to train with for a week or 2 weeks, Demons might have 1 or 2 as well, Dave and James have been on the panel now for a couple of years. But that's the danger then with them being so successful,
Yeah. What's your thoughts on that, Kyle? Because obviously you've played Super League the longest out of anyone here. So what do you think about, I suppose, Irish players getting paid? And
yeah, no, look, again, as I'd be like Malcolm, I didn't really think about it, you know what I mean? But it's definitely something to look at, you know what I mean? The gates are there these days, you can see it, there's good crowds coming to games and whatever, and I know mostly that's kind of used for the pros and the sponsorship money, unfortunately. But as Max said, like, if there's a gateway enough for people to pay for streaming and it benefits other clubs, you know what I mean, whatever way that works, there definitely needs to be something looked at.
Yeah, and the last couple of years, is obviously we grew up watching basketball and playing basketball, and the stadiums were full. It does look like it's getting back to that, doesn't it? Where like even the kind of random games now are getting good crowds and stuff. So talk about the strength of the league now, or the strength of just basketball in general.
Yeah, even like that, like obviously when Neptune Demons comes out, people buy their tickets quick enough, you know what I mean, because that's normally a full house. But I'm getting texts from random people that never really had an interest in basketball, that I just know from being friends but not from basketball, and they're asking about tickets from random games and all that stuff, you know what I mean? Can we pay in the door, or do you have a link for that? So you'd be sending it all around. Like, I don't know if that's the same with Neptune. I assume it is. People are just looking for tickets that you wouldn't generally associate with basketball.
Yeah, just on that as well. In the summer there, the Cork County Board did a great job. They had the 3v3 in town with the kids just playing in the Grand Parade, So all that stuff promotes the game, which is fantastic, which kind of ties into what you just said, that people that are not necessarily involved in basketball are kind of have an interest, and they're thinking, what's this all about? Like,
yeah, I think the games. I think a big part of that, Malcolm, is the league going back to 2 Americans. People want to come to games and be really entertained. You see Jamal and Ahmad, for you guys, they're entertaining players. They get up and dunk it. Kids want to see that, but they're out coaching in schools. The Demons lads the same coaching in the schools, and that's kind of keeping the flow of players coming into the clubs all the time, but it's also bringing people and putting bums in seats is what we need at the end of the day.
Absolutely. Like, and I suppose my first time playing in the 90s, like that was when my first time playing was when the two Americans got dropped to one, like, and I remember playing up in Tala against Notre Dame at the time, and there was one family watching the game, and they left in the third quarter. So there was actually no one in the stadium. Like,
who came on?
Yeah, there was no one there to see Malcolm play.
They were gone. But it's right, like you're right, what you're saying. The entertainment factor, you have to sell the game as an entertainment factor with dunks and fast breaks.
Yeah. I mean, I look back to the Demons Neptune Cup game last year. You know, that to me was one of the best games as a spectator I've seen in a long, long time in Ireland. You know, Demons were down, but had a bit of heart and got stuck back in. But what a game that was! You know, if we can get anywhere near that this Sunday, we'd be, be brilliant.
Just to touch on that point there, Mac. Goes like that. I know, like the highlights and the dunking and all that. It's good for the kids to see and whatever. But when there's a close, exciting game, whether it be Demons or Neptune, you're nearly up off your seat yourself. Shouting and cheering. That excitement that gets your adrenaline going. Do you know what I mean? That's what can bring kids back. Now, obviously, me as a player anyway, I don't want close games every week, but you know what I mean? But it will benefit clubs if there is,
Definitely is exciting, like, Let's just talk about the history of the two clubs, going back, I suppose Neptune was founded in the 40s, wasn't it? It was the 40s. And Demons maybe a few years later.
Yeah, a few years later,
Yeah. So, like, obviously, traditionally, it was just a north side thing, but basketball in the south side now is as big.
Yeah.
Have you any thoughts or ideas on the history of the two clubs?
For me, and this is not a dig on Neptune, it's been Neptune are too big a club to have gone so far without a trophy. Yeah. I genuinely don't mean that as a dig.
We all agree.
But I kind of do. But look, let's do that. But I think in that time, in the last 15 years, Demons have gone through its most successful time ever. We've had some brilliant coaches, brilliant Irish players, brilliant Americans come through. But I think Neptune, looking at them now, they're really young. They're going to be dangerous for a couple of years. They have a lot of kids away in America that are going to start coming back. I think Neptune are due a good period of winning, and Demons just have to make sure we're ready for that. And I think we have a good breed coming through. There's a young panel there. Take Kyle and his couple of years extra, but the likes of Dave Lehan, all these guys, they're really young. James Hannigan, young team, young core. Jack O'Leary and Darrell, who are probably, happy to see Kyle back, but all their minutes are going to be affected for it. But, they're young guys and they have many years to kind of catch up as well. So I think we just got to be ready for Neptune when they do come.
Yeah. And I suppose, just from a Neptune perspective, like, I think a lot of that comes from our committee. The last couple of years they're putting in really, real hard work and trying to get back to that pinnacle, I suppose, really, in Irish basketball. How would you not? Have you any thoughts on?
Look, obviously we're all from the north side of Cork, and we've all grew up watching and playing basketball. Whatever. I'm right in saying Demons and Neptune are the two most successful clubs in Irish basketball history. You can tell that when you walk into a game and you see how proud the fans are, and your parents and everybody and stuff like that. It's just amazing. Like it's hard to explain it to people that don't understand, that don't play with Demons or Neptune, that don't understand the feeling we get when we're before a Demons and Neptune game, and as I said there, Super League game Sunday, brilliant, but even underage, Division 2, Division 1, like it doesn't matter. Like it's like you'll be buzzing all week for the game, and I'm sure that you're buzzing for it Sunday, we're buzzing for it Sunday. But that's just my thoughts. I just think it's the best game in Irish basketball, the best feeling, if it's in the Dyke or if it's here. I think the best fans in Ireland. I just think everything is just perfect with the rivalry, What's your thoughts on that?
I agree. Look, I think we all agree. As you said, Sunday, we'll all be excited no matter what. Like, we'll be excited we play Ballincollig before this week. Once the minute that's over, we're going to be smiling straight back in our face, you know what I mean? Because we know we've Neptune to play again Sunday. Yeah. And again, vice versa, we all know Neptune boys will be smiling because they know they're playing Demons this weekend, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Training, I think, will be a little bit harder, even though it's the way training should be all the time, but we know ourselves, like, people be up in you more, they'll be doing whatever they can just to get more minutes because they all want to play in the atmosphere and the bigger games.
Yeah.
I think you know, Demons played Ballincollig tomorrow night, which is probably a distraction. There's another local derby in itself going into Neptune game, but I think if Demons come in a good shift tomorrow night against Ballincollig, they'll be up then even more for the Neptune game on Sunday. You know, they'll be, I think, that little bit sharper. So I hope Demons put in a good performance tomorrow night against Ballincollig, local derby. But if they win, I think I really fancy our chances then on Sunday, I'll be honest.
So like you're saying, like, some people might look at tomorrow night's game as a disadvantage to Demons, but you're saying it could be an advantage. Like.
Yeah, I think, you know, Demons can put stuff right. You know, that they weren't so great at last weekend. Again, I think Elijah is probably the most dominant American to come into the league in a long time. Get him the ball, he'll either be fouled or he'll score, and he's a willing passer out of the post. Demons need to get back to getting him the ball. I think, you know, his scoring has been down the last couple of weeks. Well, he's still chipping away, scoring for us, but he has to be the focal point for me, I think, for Demons.
Yeah, that's interesting. Like Elijah, for me, he's an old school big man, like, and I just think that's unique nowadays. You don't see it anymore. So yeah, I think if he gets firing again, and fellas feed off, and it could make a big difference. Like.
Yeah, I think, you know, Sean Clancy, I've probably been a little bit tough on him in the commentary, but he's probably been played out of position for a couple of weeks, where I think he might excel even more now with Kyle back, and Kyle able to control the ball, and he can just concentrate on scoring, you know. But I think not to bypass Sean either and Toby, but I think Sean will really enjoy having Kyle back. I really do, and I think that's what will make him really dangerous.
Okay.
Yeah. Last weekend I was actually delighted. I was saying to you that I wanted the two teams to win their cup games, because I thought that this game then going into Sunday would, you know, everyone's going in more confident, and the derby gets to be a bit more. Hopefully we get the two best teams on Sunday. But I suppose lastly, or second lastly, to finish on Sunday, what can we expect?
As always, like, it's going to be fireworks is the word that I will use, you know what I mean? But again, just going back to the league structure now, the double headers and games, obviously this is a rescheduled game for us, but like obviously we Ballincollig to prepare for, so it's a one training session, then a match, and then we'll have one, and then Neptune, you know, whereas obviously you'd like to have a full week, no matter what team you're playing, you know what I mean? So then
prepping on the one team.
Yeah.
Like, are you expecting a fast start? Like, what were you expecting Neptune to go to blocks?
Well, you know the way Neptune play, you know what I mean? They'll be pressing, they'll be looking to force turnovers, get shots up quick in the shot clock. Obviously, we'll be looking to deter that and stop that, you know what I mean? Now, Neptune are training there, I don't know their game plan, but I might find something out.
Yeah, well, we shouldn't have sat you there, actually, no, in hindsight.
I can't see anything anyway.
What do you think, Mark, about the game Sunday? What are you hoping for?
Like Kyle, I think Neptune will want to get out early. I watched them now a couple of times where they play this big wide zone. They almost want you to beat them inside, which will Pat stick with that at the weekend, I don't know. And Jamal kind of playing almost a box and one against Temple Oak last week, which he was unbelievable, actually. It was brilliant to see it. So will Pat stick with that game plan? I don't know. But for Demons, we just have to slow Neptune down and slow them down on the 3-point line. That's going to be absolutely key. If we can do that, I think we're in with a chance.
Yeah, what do you think, Matt, about the game Sunday?
Yeah, no, I just think like Neptune are really playing well. I think the turning point for them was the ANA game. And just to repeat what you said there, Mac, like Jamal going kind of box him on. He went box him on Sean Jenkins first. Yeah. And then we saw it against Temple Oak. So I think that changed the whole Neptune dynamic, to be perfectly honest with you, because Temple Oak had beaten us in the league game, and Allen, the American, had 42 points. Yep. So, you know, I think Jamal, you know, wouldn't allow that happen in the return game. So it's going to be hard to play for, really, you know. Yeah. Demons, as I said earlier at the start of our chat, people are saying they're not playing so great, blah blah blah, but I think that's when you're at your most dangerous.
But even in that, and Jamal, like, I know I've seen some interviews after games, like with Peanut and Pat, and he was saying he knew or Jamal could do that or whatever. So I don't know, was Pat kind of happy that he'd use that early in the season or whatever? But obviously you need to do what needs to be done to win a game, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So kind of, I don't know if there's any more rabbits that can be pulled out of the hat now.
Yeah.
So we'll have to wait till see Sunday.
I've heard rumours there is a rabbit in the hat, that there's a new Bosman. I'm not sure how true that is.
Oh, no.
Yeah, look, it is what it is. Demons of Neptune, or Kyle coming back, you know, as good as any Bosman, or as good as any American in my eyes over the last couple of years. So, you know, it's odd to play for. I think crucial to Neptune actually is Neil Sabata.
Yeah.
He has to have a big game for Neptune this week.
Playing well.
He is playing well, you know, he's
Recently,
a guy needs to stay fit. I think Cian Heafy is a huge loss in nitty-gritty games for Neptune. You know, he plays hard, or I think, you know, he's a loss for Neptune, but again, there's a core, as I said, Neptune have 9 players who could start. You know, when you're bringing Darragh Sullivan or Connor off the bench, like, that's crazy stuff, you know, it's brilliant for Neptune.
There's good talent there. We're kind of nearly at the end now, lads. Just a last question. How does Irish basketball grow? Like, I mean, we're talking, it's all positive and what have you. I know they're kind of extended in the arena in Dublin and all that kind of stuff. But where do you see Irish basketball growing and getting better again?
Well, first of all, anyway, the first thing I'd point to is the league system. Obviously, it's gone back to a straight league now. But if you win that straight league, there's no trophy up for grabs or anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You have to qualify for playoffs, which I think makes no sense. Even with all the double headers now, like, your reward is getting through to a playoff if you come first or 8. Which to me, I feel like if you're doing all that and putting in all that effort and you come first, I think you should get rewarded with something for that. Yeah, and then, like, the style they had before, you know, the Champions Trophy, then for the top 4, if they want to make that top 8, so be it, you know what I mean? But I think if you win a straight league with so much commitment given throughout the year, you should be rewarded.
Ladies do it that way, don't they?
Yeah, they do. They have a trophy for that.
Yeah, I think this year Tralee have probably been the best team I've seen, you know, on paper. I think they'll drop a couple as the season go on. I know they have a suspension hanging over on their Americans and stuff like that at the moment, but 4 or 5 losses could probably top you the league format this year because everyone's going to beat everyone. Yeah. Where do I see the league going? I think not a knock on Basketball Ireland at all because they've done a brilliant job driving it on and driving on the last couple of years, but helping the clubs. You know, I've watched clubs now this summer where everyone's afraid of the work permits for the Americans. You know, and the clubs are almost being left to their own devices, go fix it. But I'd like to see Basketball Ireland get involved in it a little bit and help the clubs and say, you know, that's fixed now. And I think that's the next step where the clubs and Basketball Ireland get tighter. I don't think that link is there yet, you know.
Just that the communication be
better. You've clubs petrified to bring in Americans, and then it's costing a lot of money to fly people in and fly them home if there's no visas, and that shouldn't be happening, you know. I'd like to see Basketball Ireland do something because I think the amount of kids playing basketball now is crazy, even in Cork or, you know, in Kerry and these places, but the league is going to just take off. I think sponsors are there at the moment. We've got to keep them interested and give them the avenue, you know. Maybe we start looking at ads in the Basketball Ireland TV and stuff like that. Yeah. But the more money is coming in, the better the league is going to be.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I think it is kind of silly if you're doing that league and the person that finished that top league. Like if Tralee go undefeated this year and they don't win a trophy, and you know, that makes no sense. Like so.
Ballycollig won a league a couple of years ago, you know, and they weren't the best team, but he did it at the right time.
Yeah, another one that just popped into my head when you said that about the league is: do you think the cup is too close together? You have the semi-final and the final week after each other now, don't we?
Yeah, 2 weeks in a row this year.
Yeah, they're
both. Do you think that's a bit strange? Or?
No, I think that's always, well, since I'm playing anyway, it's always the way it's been.
There was always a week, 1 week gap, wasn't there?
There was, but I don't think that'll make much of a difference, to be honest. Like, nah.
For me, sorry, okay, I think the one issue is, you know, Neptune in the cup final, or cup semi-final on the Saturday night, your American gets injured. I believe they have to be registered by the Tuesday now, so it doesn't give you a whole lot of time to have a full-strength team when you're going onto the television when the huge audience is going to be watched. So that's the one negative I see in it, but you know, that's a risk you play every week. But that registrations have to be done on Tuesday. It is a danger if that happened.
Yeah, all right. And lastly, lads, predictions. Obviously, now you're back in the league. What predictions for the league and the cup this year?
Demons for everything.
You know he's going to say that.
Obviously.
I'm reading it off the board, like. Have it out with.
I think Tralee will win the kind of regular season, probably handily. And anything can happen going into the playoffs. Then, I mean, Demons aren't playing their best basketball right now, but, you know, come March, that's all you need. You know, you need to hit it at the right time. But I think Demons can win it, definitely win the trophy this year. Yeah. Possibly the league and maybe the cup.
Yeah, I probably should have said without picking your own club. But I think looking at the league, it's hard to look past Tralee, isn't it? Yeah, they look solid this year, so it's very hard to look past them. What do you think, Mal?
I think prior to the ANA game here, I didn't think Neptune would win anything. but after seeing them against Aina and see they've different things in the locker, I think they could win something. Whether it is a league or a cup, I don't know, but I think they could win a trophy.
Yeah, I think the big thing for Neptune now in the last couple of games, we spoke about it, is the pros, Armand and Jamal. The way they're playing together. I thought at the start of the season, obviously Armand's a heavy scorer, big scorer. I thought there was a few times he was probably forcing it, going to the basket and stuff. Now he's going to the basket and Jamal is cutting and he's finding him. And you can see that in the last couple of games that they're enjoying playing with each other. So I think Sunday, like, I'm expecting Armand to come out hot. So if he comes out hot, I think it's going to be a long day for you. But at the same time, that's your job then to stop Armand from getting hot. And then James playing great the last few games. He's averaging 22 the last 3 games. So I think about Neptune stopping him as well.
Yeah, are we done? Do you want to try and
I actually think it will be an overtime game on Sunday.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's going to be back and forth. And I think we might get an overtime and I think Demons might run it out then. The fear I have every week is
the
or sent off. But look, he's in a better place, I think, right now. But the Mardyke Arena is probably the best shooting gym in the country, right? Lovely rims, lovely soft rims, but then there are also lovely rims for the visiting team. And Neptune right now are one of the best shooting teams in the league, I would say. So I can't stress enough how much we need to run Neptune off the 3-point line on Sunday.
Yeah. Okay, lads, I think we wrap it up.
I think they have 10 minutes left there, Malcolm. If you want to ask a few more questions.
Well, we won't have a look now.
He's on his second copybook.
So look, I think no matter who wins Sunday, we're going to have a great game of basketball. Best of luck to you, lads. Enjoy it. I hope you don't get over the line, but enjoy the game. And I think
hopefully we can do this again before a cup game or something.
Absolutely, yeah. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having us, lads. Look forward to seeing you Sunday.
Cheers.